All right, let's get to some questions. I don't know. Should I be sad? This was supposed to be a 5-week break. Not that I ever take a break, but 24 out of 25 days for PFT PM with no breaks during the broadcast, with no one to throw it to while I catch my breath or just otherwise figure out what the hell I'm saying. I kind of like this, but not enough to commit to doing it once a week. PFT PM Posse. So quit asking. Here's a question from PFT PM Posse. Head coaches in the NFL have been trending younger for a while. However, my Cowboys are never mentioned as a possibility with the youngest and brightest head coaching prospects. Why is that? Can Jerry and the boys, nepotistic decision makers, not relate? Are they leery of Dallas, the Jones family, or what? They got Jason Garrett when he was regarded as a young up-and-coming coach, and the idea was we're going to stick with him as he learns how to be a coach, and then we're going to have Tom Landry. And I think that Kellen Moore was kind of like, hey, he's the guy that will take over after Mike McCarthy and be Tom Landry. So I think they'd like to do it, but it just hasn't worked up. And in the grand scheme of things, ideally, you're not hiring coaches every few years. The goal should be to hire a new coach every 5 to 10 years. So that's not many head coaches. So you don't have a whole lot of opportunities to do what you're suggesting, and we'll see what happens if it doesn't work out for McCarthy. I think there's a ton of pressure on him this year as he takes over the offense. And there's been some turnover, a lot of turnover on that coaching staff, even though the team went 12-5 the last 2 years. I think he's one of the guys on the hot seat entering the season. PFT PM Posse. How can we get someone to ask Aaron Rodgers the question about being paid $60 million plus per year by one of the big pharma companies trying to take him down? And that's a question that came up when I did the SI Media podcast with Jimmy Train. And I've mentioned this a time or two. When Aaron Rodgers was finally in a position to meet with the New York media right after the trade, it was all positive and flowery. And no one asked him about the 800-pound elephant in the room, the idea that he claims, and he said this, that he was vilified by the media because Big Pharma told the media to do it. That the media is bought and paid for by Big Pharma. Well, I never got the memo. I criticized Aaron Rodgers for lying about being vaccinated because he lied about being vaccinated, not because anybody told me to do it. He lied about it, and you knew he lied about it. He was playing a stupid-ass Greg Brady word game, and he got caught. And he thought he was being clever, and it was just unfortunate, and it was a possible glimpse into his character, frankly. I'm sorry, but frankly. So he said that. He made that comment. And he's got this persecution complex. That's fine. But he said it. He's been vilified by the media at the behest of Big Pharma. Well, who is Big Pharma? Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson. And Woody Johnson is of the Johnson & Johnson family. It is a hell of a question. How do you reconcile your disdain for Big Pharma with your willingness to take a paycheck from a guy who is a Big Pharma heir? How do you do it? What mental gymnastics did you go through to get yourself to the point where you were reconciled to take Big Pharma money? Even if it's not directly, still indirect, but you're taking Big Pharma money. I think what happens is when this honeymoon period ends, and it's been an extended honeymoon period, once they start losing some games, once maybe he starts being a little prickly, at some point, I think somebody's going to ask him that question. And maybe one of the reasons he's on his best behavior, he's trying to push that question off as long as possible. And he presumably has an answer that he's rehearsed. Now, hopefully it's not the same kind of cute gotcha answer like he did with, yeah, I've been immunized. But I think he's ready for it. And I think at some point, he's going to be asked that question. He should be asked that question by someone at some point. And if he'd like to come on, I'll do a special edition of PFT PM if Aaron Rodgers wants to come on and have that conversation. I'm happy to have a very respectful, open, balanced, and fair conversation with him about that if he's interested in doing it, but I'm not going to hold my breath or any other bodily function. Hurricane Dave, what is your ideal breakfast? Generally speaking, it's whatever I feel like eating that morning. Some mornings, I just want an energy bar or those little Belvita crackers with coffee. Well, I have some bad news. We have to wrap this one up early, not because Macy is barking again. And actually, yesterday, what happened is she got out the front door. A neighbor was here. That's why I had to prematurely end it, because it got very loud and I was very concerned that something was going on, that a burglar had busted in broad daylight. That wasn't the case. The case today is we've had some power outages. We've had another one. So in lieu of continuing with the experiment and the hope that there won't be yet another power outage, I'm going to say, sorry, I couldn't get to your questions. Maybe I'll answer some of them on Twitter. The best news is we're back on PFT Live Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on Peacock and SiriusXM 85. And for all of your NBC sports shows that you consume, they are available on Amazon Music. Just go to amazon.com/NBC Sports for PFT Live, Chris Sims Unbuttoned, PFT PM when we do it, and all other NBC sports shows. Thanks for hanging with me the past 5 weeks as we've gotten through the PFT Live hiatus. The hiatus is officially over. We will be back on Monday. Check us out all weekend long at profootballtalk.com. And have a great Saturday and Sunday. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.